Huh. I guess it's not all doom and gloom for Megatron figures. Ba weep grana weep nitty bong YouTube, RedWhiteandBluestreak here, and today we're taking a look at Newage H-9 Agamenmnon. Sorry, Agamenmnon. That one. Newage is that thing is their first, technically second, take on a legend scale version of the infamous Decepticon leader, Megatron. So for those who don't know who our beloved bucket-headed gunman is, Megatron is the leader and founder in most continuities of the Decepticon faction from Transformers, with this figure being based off of the 1980s cartoon interpretation. This warmongering menace spearheads the Decepticon war effort against the heroic Autobots while dealing with the dysfunctional family that is his own faction. Based on what he does in that series, Megatron's kind of more partial to the drunk, abusive father type of character in that family.
You disgust me.
Even though there are a lot of goofs and gaffes in the 1980s cartoon, Megatron is still a force to be reckoned with in this and every continuity. Whether he's executing Autobots on a shuttle, or being generally mustache-twirlingly evil, or planning a revolution against the powers that be because freedom is the right of all. Oh my god, is Megatron the good guy? As I mentioned, this figure is Newage's attempt at a legend scale representation of Megatron, and what an interpretation it is. This figure is fantastically molded and partially painted with materials that are built to last. A fantastic consistency with Newage products. I say partially painted because as far as I can tell, like most Magic Square products, this figure is barely painted outside of the stomach panel, feet, and faces. I honestly had no real intention of getting this figure until I did the Magic Square Doomsday review. I kind of figured that the back of this figure would bother me a little too much, you know? But the back doesn't bother me at all when this figure is so expertly engineered. And in all honesty, this figure is more cartoon accurate than Doomsday, believe it or not. Even down to the proportions. I guess the messy backpack is actually cartoon accurate for once. One thing that's also great about this figure is that it takes no notes from MP36, unlike the Legends Primes we've looked at on the channel. So we're in completely uncharted territory with this figure. And unlike with Doomsday, they actually did an amazing job with this figure, and all the unique tricks that they've done to ensure some fantastic articulation and an absolutely masterful transfer. Not yet! Accessories first. Eat your veggies. Now, in this department, I hate to say it, truly I do, but I think Doomsday's got this figure beat. Oh, sweet Primus, I think I just lost some years off my lifespan. You get the typical Megatron additions, the stock and silencer, which are more useful in the gun mode and can be turned into a turret, but can't be used as a stand. He does come with a stand adapter though, that can be used with any compatible figure stand, ideally the Newage ones though, and he has a set of fists out of the box, which are compatible with Blitzwing's pistol and the key to Vector Sig. Let's move on. He also has a set of open hands and a set of pointing hands. Speaking of hand accessories, he also has the Energon Mace from the episode More Than Meets the Eye, and of course he has his fusion cannon. Anything less is sacrilege. And last but not least, he has a maniacal laughter face, and nothing else. What? We were expecting another face or something? Yeah, not gonna lie, if nothing else, I would have liked to have at least his battle damaged face to be able to fully recreate that iconic scene, and that sword for good measure. That's the one and only thing Doomsday has over this figure. Okay, now we can move on to the articulation. He has a full range of motion at the head on a ball joint, allowing him to look up that far and down a little bit. His arms can move all the way around and can go out about that far. His rotation at the bicep, bend at the elbow, swivel at the wrist, waist swivel, ab crunch, splits, kick forward that far, and back pretty far too. So bend at the knee, and a rotation at the thigh. And very little ankle pivot. There are an absolute variety of poses you can get this figure into, and thanks to the materials and how smooth the joints feel, it's an absolute joy the entire way. almost as much of a joy as transforming this absolute masterpiece of a Legends figure. God. I actually had fun with that. I actually enjoyed myself. I never thought I'd actually enjoy a Megatron gun transformation that wasn't the classic figure, but even more so, this is a transformation I want to do again and again. Heck, that's what I've been doing for the past few months that I've owned this figure. But before I do it again, let's talk about it. So for starters, yeah, this isn't the cleanest looking gun mode ever. But to be honest, outside of Classics and G1, you'd be hard pressed to be able to make a clean gun mode for Megatron while having a fantastically put together robot mode at any scale, especially Legend scale. But I believe Newage did not only the best they could, but the best that could be done at this scale. I'll be genuinely impressed if anyone ever tops this. Lord knows Magic Square can't. Everything besides the button panel is hidden away wonderfully and tabs and clips together satisfyingly. I'm mostly impressed with how the legs work. Having the feet become the hammer and new mount for the fusion cannon was genius! Now, even though this gun is unrealistically small, even with the stock and silencer, and doesn't have a spring-loaded trigger, I still wouldn't go around waving this thing in public. Wave your toy guns around in the privacy of your own home, okay? Don't go getting yourself or somebody else hurt or worse, okay? Okay, love you much. Now, it shouldn't be hard to tell that I absolutely love this figure. 4.9 out of 5 is going to be my final rating for this figure. It's such a breath of fresh air for Megatron figures in general, and is a must-have for anybody that's a Megatron collector or a Legend scale collector. The only thing holding this thing back from perfection is the lack of accessories. There's a good selection here, but personally that damaged face would have gone a long way for me, and probably would have had me getting rid of Doomsday, but because I eventually want to make a stop motion of the 1986 Transformers the movie fight, you can stay, Doomsday. If you can get your hands on this figure, do it. I know Shozi's store sometimes replenishes their stock of Newage figures, so check there. Otherwise, you can go ahead and see what you must give in tribute to the eBay gods. So, we've done just about every scale of Transformer besides a couple, so why don't we hop into Commander class with Ultra Magnus? What, were you expecting someone else?